When the day of the meeting finally arrived, Lucas found himself standing outside a sleek, ultramodern building, proudly adorned with the logos of Tesla and SpaceX. Taking a deep breath to steady his nerves, he stepped inside. Musk's team greeted him with a mix of professionalism and approachability, their questions sharp and insightful as Lucas showcased his prototype and elaborated on its potential impact. Partway through, Musk himself entered the room. His presence was as commanding as ever, but Lucas noticed something else, a genuine curiosity about the project. Musk delved into detailed questions, probing the feasibility and scalability of the invention. Drawing on months of meticulous research and development, Lucas did his best to provide confident answers. As the meeting concluded, Musk leaned back in his chair, his expression thoughtful. "This has potential," he remarked, "but it needs work. Would you be willing to relocate and collaborate with our engineers to take it to the next level?" Lucas's heart raced. "Yes, absolutely," he replied without hesitation. And just like that, Lucas's life changed dramatically. He moved to California, gaining access to cutting-edge facilities and an expert team dedicated to refining his invention. The journey was anything but easy. Grueling hours, endless revisions, and moments of self-doubt, but Lucas thrived under the intense pressure. He absorbed every lesson he could, learning from Musk's team and gaining insights that he never would have imagined back home. Musk occasionally stopped by to check on the project, offering guidance and challenging Lucas to think bigger. "Remember," Musk said during one of their meetings, "the goal isn't just to solve one problem. It's to create something that can change millions of lives." Those words stuck with Lucas, becoming his mantra. He poured everything he had into the project, and gradually, the solar-powered cooling system began to evolve into a viable product. But this was only the beginning of a journey that would push Lucas to his limits, challenge his views of success, and redefine his place in the world. Adjusting to his new life in California wasn't easy. Working alongside some of the brightest minds in the industry was both thrilling and humbling. Each day brought a flood of new knowledge about advanced materials, renewable energy systems, and the challenges of scaling a product for mass production. Lucas often felt like the smallest fish in a vast ocean, but he reminded himself why he was there, to create something meaningful, something that mattered. The early days of his collaboration with Musk's team were a whirlwind of activity. They meticulously deconstructed Lucas's prototype, analyzing its core components to pinpoint weaknesses and areas for improvement. Musk's engineers were relentless in their pursuit of excellence, pushing Lucas to think more critically about his design decisions. Initially, the constant critiques felt overwhelming, but Lucas quickly realized their feedback wasn't meant to discourage him. It was to help him build something far better. One major concern was the system's durability. Lucas's original design relied on materials that were cost-effective but vulnerable to wear and tear, especially under extreme conditions. To solve this, the team began testing advanced composites and lightweight alloys capable of withstanding harsh environments without sacrificing efficiency. Lucas spent countless hours in the lab, running experiments, analyzing data, and fine-tuning the design with the team's help. Musk's occasional visits to the lab were both inspiring and intimidating. He had a knack for asking questions that forced everyone to think far beyond the obvious. What happens if this is deployed in a region with sandstorms? Musk asked during one session. Have you thought about prolonged exposure to salt water? Lucas soon realized that Musk's mind was always several steps ahead, envisioning scenarios most wouldn't even consider. It was a level of foresight Lucas aspired to achieve himself. As months passed, Lucas noticed a transformation within himself. He was no longer the wide-eyed beginner who had stumbled into an extraordinary opportunity. He was growing into his role, gaining confidence, and contributing meaningfully to the project. Evenings often found him immersed in technical journals and research papers, diving into topics he had barely scratched the surface of before. Lucas was determined to make the most of this experience, not just for himself, but for the countless people who might one day benefit from his invention. They say opportunities often come when you least expect them. For Lucas, a chance meeting with Elon Musk sparked a journey he could never have imagined, taking him from a small-town dreamer to an innovator on the brink of something extraordinary. He often found himself lost in thought, sketching ideas for inventions and clever solutions to everyday problems. His tiny room was a chaotic workshop, filled with scraps of paper, old electronics, and half-finished prototypes. While he didn't have much money, Lucas had something even more valuable, an unshakable belief that, given the chance, he could change the world. One late night, Lucas was hard at work on a prototype for a solar-powered cooling system, a project born from necessity. In his hometown, frequent power outages left families struggling to preserve food and endure the scorching summer heat. Determined to make a difference, Lucas spent months fine-tuning his design, using salvaged parts and inexpensive materials he could scrounge up or buy online. Progress was slow, and frustration often gnawed at him, but he refused to give up. Lucas's life took an unexpected turn when he attended a tech conference in a nearby city. Using every penny he had saved, he purchased a ticket, knowing it would be a chance to explore innovative technologies, meet like-minded people, and listen to influential speakers. As he scanned the list of keynote speakers, his heart skipped a beat. At the top of the list was Elon Musk. For Lucas, Musk wasn't just a tech mogul. He was a symbol of audacity and vision, a living testament that groundbreaking ideas could reshape the world. Musk's achievements with Tesla, SpaceX, and Solar City had fueled Lucas's own dreams, encouraging him to keep pushing forward despite the obstacles. The thought of seeing Musk speak in person was electrifying. The auditorium buzzed with excitement when Musk finally stepped onto the stage, dressed in his signature black blazer and jeans. He exuded calm confidence as he spoke about his vision for the future, emphasizing sustainable energy and the courage to take bold risks. Every word struck a chord with Lucas, who hung on to each sentence like it was a lifeline. As the keynote concluded, Lucas's mind raced with newfound energy. He knew he had to find a way to talk to Musk, even if it seemed impossible. Security was tight, and countless people vied for Musk's attention. But Lucas wasn't one to back down. Clutching his notebook filled with sketches of the solar-powered cooling system, he wove through the crowd, determined to seize the moment. Fate seemed to smile on him that day. As Musk headed toward a private lounge, a brief commotion caught Lucas's eye. A dropped phone, a distracted security guard, and a narrow window of opportunity. Without hesitation, Lucas made his move. "Mr. Musk," Lucas called out, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. I have an idea I think you'd want to hear. It's about solar energy." Musk paused, turning to face the young man. His sharp, analytical gaze swept over Lucas, his curiosity piqued. "Solar energy, huh?" Musk said with a faint smirk. "All right. You've got 30 seconds. Impress me." Taking a deep breath, Lucas launched into his pitch. He painted a vivid picture of the struggles rural communities face during power outages, the inefficiency of existing solutions, and how his invention could offer an affordable, sustainable alternative. His words tumbled out quickly, charged with passion and sincerity. To Lucas's astonishment, Musk didn't interrupt. He listened intently, his expression unreadable. When Lucas finished, a moment of silence hung in the air, feeling like an eternity. "Interesting," Musk finally said. "Do you have a prototype?" Lucas nodded enthusiastically. "Yes. It's still a work in progress. But I'll take it to my team," Musk interjected, his tone firm yet not dismissive. He gestured toward an assistant nearby. "Give her your contact info. We'll arrange a meeting." Lucas stood there, barely processing what he had just heard. "Thank you, Mr. Musk. I won't let you down," he managed to say, his voice brimming with gratitude. As Musk walked away, Lucas was overwhelmed by a whirlwind of emotions: relief, excitement, and an almost indescribable sense of validation. He had done it. He'd managed to capture the attention of one of the world's most visionary innovators. Now, the real challenge would begin. The days that followed were a blur. True to Musk's word, his team reached out, inviting Lucas to showcase his prototype at their headquarters. Determined to make the most of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Lucas worked tirelessly, often pulling all-nighters to perfect every detail of his design. He knew the stakes were high, and he wasn't about to let this chance slip through his fingers. The journey, however, wasn't without its setbacks. There were moments of pure frustration, prototypes failing spectacularly during tests, progress grinding to a halt, or funding constraints forcing the team to shelve promising ideas. Each obstacle tested Lucas's determination, but he clung to the memory of families back home who struggled during power outages. Their faces reminded him why he had started this project. One particularly challenging issue arose when the team discovered the system's energy efficiency was far below expectations. Despite their efforts, the cooling unit consumed more power than initially planned, undermining its sustainability goals. The team worked relentlessly, experimenting with various components and configurations to resolve the problem. During one of these grueling late nights, inspiration struck. As Lucas pored over test data, a pattern in the energy consumption caught his eye. He realized they could drastically improve efficiency by incorporating an advanced thermal management system that utilized phase-change materials to regulate temperature. Excited, Lucas sketched out a new design and presented it to the team the following morning. Skepticism rippled through the group, but Musk's lead engineer encouraged Lucas to move forward. "It's unconventional," the engineer admitted, "but sometimes the best solutions come from bold ideas." With the team's support, Lucas developed a prototype of the new system. Initial tests showed significant improvements, and for the first time in weeks, Lucas felt hope return. Musk personally reviewed the breakthrough, providing suggestions and offering words of encouragement. "This is good work, Lucas," Musk said, his gaze sharp. "But good isn't enough. Let's make it great." Those words stuck with Lucas, driving him to push harder. As the project progressed, Lucas naturally stepped into a leadership role. He became the go-to expert for questions about the system's design and functionality, earning the respect of his colleagues. Leadership, Lucas learned, wasn't about knowing everything. It was about fostering collaboration and inspiring others to excel. Outside the lab, Lucas's life transformed in unexpected ways. Living in vibrant, fast-paced Los Angeles was a stark contrast to his small-town upbringing. Weekends became an opportunity for exploration, visiting museums, attending tech meetups, or even trying surfing. These experiences broadened his perspective, fueling creativity and reminding him of the importance of balance. Despite his busy schedule, Lucas stayed deeply connected to his roots. Regular calls to his family back home kept him grounded. "Just don't forget to take care of yourself," his mother often reminded him. "You can't help others if you're running on empty." Taking her advice to heart, Lucas began prioritizing his well-being. He started meditating, joined a local gym, and even took up journaling to process his thoughts. These practices helped him maintain clarity and approach challenges with renewed energy. As the prototype neared completion, the team prepared for rigorous field tests. These tests were critical, simulating real-world conditions to determine the system's readiness for large-scale deployment. Traveling to remote areas with limited electricity, Lucas witnessed firsthand the impact of their work. One visit took Lucas to a small fishing village in Southeast Asia. The community had long struggled with food spoilage due to inadequate refrigeration, leading to financial losses and insecurity. The introduction of the cooling system changed everything. Fishermen could now preserve their catch for longer, reducing waste and securing fairer prices. "This isn't just a machine," one fisherman told Lucas, his voice tinged with emotion. "It's hope, a chance for a better future for our families." Hearing those words reaffirmed Lucas's belief in the power of innovation. Back in California, he shared these stories with the team, using the feedback to refine the system further. Amidst the successes, challenges continued to test Lucas's resilience. The relentless pace of work and mounting expectations often felt overwhelming. During one particularly stressful period, Musk called Lucas into his office. "Lucas," Musk began, leaning back in his chair, "you've been doing incredible work, but I can see you're burning out. Trust me, I've been there. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You can't pour from an empty cup." That conversation was a wake-up call. Lucas realized that self-care wasn't just a personal responsibility. It was vital for the project's success. He started delegating tasks, setting boundaries, and carving out time to recharge. The adjustments weren't easy, but they were necessary. But the progress made it worthwhile. Lucas began to notice the tangible impact of the project, not just on the communities it served, but on himself. His determination deepened as the cooling system proved its potential in addressing critical global issues. The pilot programs delivered impressive results, with measurable improvements in food preservation, energy efficiency, and quality of life for users. Media outlets picked up on the story, sharing Lucas's journey from a small-town dreamer to a global innovator. The increased attention brought new opportunities, including partnerships with organizations poised to scale the project globally. One key partnership emerged with a multinational corporation specializing in sustainable agriculture. They recognized the cooling system as a natural fit for their mission to enhance food security and reduce waste. The collaboration provided Lucas and his team with distribution networks, logistical support, and much-needed funding. However, it also introduced new complexities. Balancing the integration of their technology with the corporation's operations while upholding the project's core values proved challenging but vital. Through every twist and turn, Lucas kept his focus on the bigger picture. Reflecting on his journey, he marveled at the improbable series of events that had propelled him to this point. Yet, he also recognized that his cooling system was just one solution among many needed to address the world's complex challenges. One evening, as Lucas reviewed reports from recent pilot programs, an unexpected call from Musk brought another pivotal moment. The conversation was brief but profound. "Lucas," Musk began, "what you've accomplished is remarkable. But remember, this is only the start. Keep pushing boundaries, asking the tough questions, and most importantly, believing in what's possible." Musk's words resonated deeply, fueling Lucas's resolve. During a test in a remote village, Lucas experienced firsthand the profound impact of the cooling system. The team had set up the unit in a community center, where it stored perishable goods and provided much-needed relief from the oppressive heat. Within hours, word spread, and families flocked to the center, curious to witness the technology in action. Lucas watched as children laughed and played in the cool air while their parents expressed heartfelt gratitude. That evening, under a canopy of stars, Musk reflected with Lucas on the day's events. "This is why we do what we do," Musk said, his tone thoughtful. "It's not about the technology itself. It's about the lives it touches. Never lose sight of that." Those words stayed with Lucas as the project continued to gain momentum. Field tests yielded invaluable data, revealing both strengths and areas for improvement. The team worked tirelessly to refine the system, ensuring it met the rigorous standards required for commercial production. Meanwhile, news of the project spread, drawing attention from investors, non-profits, and government agencies. While Musk's involvement undoubtedly helped raise its profile, it was Lucas's passion and relentless dedication that truly captured imaginations. He began giving presentations to potential partners, sharing the story of the cooling system and its transformative potential. Though public speaking had never been his strength, Lucas embraced the opportunity, knowing his message could inspire change. As interest in the project grew, so did its possibilities. Lucas envisioned expanding the system's applications, developing complementary technologies, and collaborating with other innovators to tackle related challenges. The path ahead was uncertain, but Lucas felt more prepared than ever to navigate it. Through it all, one thing remained constant: Lucas's unwavering belief in the power of human ingenuity. He often reflected on the twists and turns of his journey, marveling at how far he had come since that pivotal day at the tech conference. Yet he knew this was only the beginning. The road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but Lucas was ready to meet them head-on, driven by the same dream that had ignited his journey. Lucas stood under the setting sun of the remote island, the words of the community leader echoing in his mind. Empowerment. Possibility. It was moments like this that reminded him why he started. The cooling system wasn't just an invention, it was a catalyst for transformation. As his team scaled the project globally, Lucas began noticing a shift in his role. No longer just an inventor, he was now a leader and a storyteller, bridging the gap between cutting-edge technology and the real-world lives it touched. With every deployment, he encountered new challenges, adapting systems for extreme climates, ensuring accessibility for underserved regions, and navigating the complexities of international logistics. The challenges didn't deter Lucas. They fueled him. He knew that solving these issues would only strengthen the project's impact. At the same time, he made it a priority to maintain a direct connection with the communities they served. On every trip, he carried a notebook where he documented stories, ideas, and feedback from the people benefiting from his work. One of these stories came from a farmer in East Africa who had used the cooling system to store surplus produce. For the first time, she told Lucas, my family doesn't have to choose between selling our crops at a loss or letting them rot. This technology has given us freedom. Back in the lab, Lucas shared her story with his team. It became a rallying cry, a reminder of the human impact behind every equation and circuit. They plastered the walls with photos and letters from users, creating a tangible connection to the lives they were improving. As the months turned into years, Lucas found himself at a crossroads. The cooling system was a success, but he felt a pull to do more. The lessons he had learned about innovation, collaboration, and the importance of understanding human needs could be applied to other pressing challenges. Energy storage, water purification, and even disaster relief were areas where he saw opportunities to make a difference. It was during another call with Elon Musk that Lucas voiced his thoughts. I feel like there's so much more we can do, he said. The cooling system is just one piece of the puzzle. Musk, as usual, was direct. Then don't stop. Build a team. Solve bigger problems. Just remember, focus is key. Spread yourself too thin, and you'll achieve nothing. Taking those words to heart, Lucas began laying the groundwork for a new initiative. He envisioned a think tank where technologists, designers, and community leaders could come together to tackle global challenges. It wouldn't just be about creating solutions, but about empowering others to do the same. The think tank, named Horizon, launched with a clear mission: to address critical needs in underserved regions using sustainable technology. Lucas poured his energy into building a culture of creativity and collaboration, drawing inspiration from his own journey. He encouraged his team to take risks, embrace failure, and always keep the end user in mind. The impact was immediate. Within its first year, Horizon developed a portable solar-powered water filtration system that brought clean drinking water to thousands. They also partnered with international organizations to create modular shelters for disaster-stricken areas, incorporating cooling and storage technologies from Lucas's earlier work. For Lucas, this new chapter felt like a natural evolution. As he stood at the helm of Horizon, he often thought back to his small-town beginnings and the spark that had ignited his journey. The path had been anything but straight, filled with moments of doubt, triumph, and relentless learning. Yet, through it all, one truth remained. Innovation wasn't about the technology, it was about the lives it touched. Lucas stood by the office window, gazing at the city lights shimmering in the distance. The proposal deadline had been met, and the intense pace of the last 2 weeks had left him physically exhausted but emotionally charged. It wasn't just about the words on paper. It was about the possibilities they represented. He thought back to the journey that had brought him to this point, a small-town dreamer turned global innovator. Every setback, late night, and triumph had culminated in this moment. He realized that while the challenges ahead might be daunting, they were also what made the work meaningful. The next morning, Lucas awoke to an email notification. The subject line read, "Proposal accepted. Next steps with UN Task Force." A surge of excitement coursed through him as he quickly skimmed the message. The task force had not only approved the proposal, but also invited him to present it at an upcoming summit in New York. Lucas immediately called his team to share the news. Their cheers and laughter filled the office as they celebrated the recognition of their hard work. "This is just the beginning," Lucas reminded them. "We're not just building technology, we're building a movement." The weeks leading up to the summit were a whirlwind. Lucas worked closely with his team to refine his presentation, ensuring it was not only technically sound but also emotionally resonant. He wanted to tell the story of the cooling system through the eyes of the people it had impacted: farmers, healthcare workers, and families who now had access to resources that once seemed out of reach. When the day of the summit arrived, Lucas felt a mix of nerves and excitement. He took the stage to a packed auditorium, his heart pounding as he stepped up to the podium. He began with a simple yet powerful statement. Technology alone doesn't change the world. People do. As he spoke, he shared the journey of the cooling system, its origins in a small town, the challenges of scaling it, and the lives it had touched along the way. He punctuated his presentation with stories of resilience and hope, accompanied by images of the communities they had served. The audience's response was electric. Applause erupted as Lucas concluded his talk, and a line of attendees formed to speak with him afterward. Representatives from global organizations, philanthropists, and fellow innovators all expressed their eagerness to collaborate. One conversation stood out. A young woman from a non-profit approached Lucas, her voice trembling with emotion. "Your story reminded me why I started working in this field," she said. "Thank you for showing us what's possible." In that moment, Lucas felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude, not just for the opportunities he had been given, but for the people who believed in his vision. He knew that while his journey had been marked by individual milestones, it was the collective effort of countless individuals that had made it all possible. Returning home, Lucas felt a renewed sense of purpose. He began outlining plans for the next phase of the project, scaling the technology to even more regions, investing in research to improve its efficiency, and exploring new applications in disaster relief and renewable energy storage. But he also made a promise to himself and his team to stay grounded in their mission. They would never lose sight of the people at the heart of their work, ensuring that every innovation remained a tool for empowerment. The road ahead was filled with uncertainty, but Lucas felt ready to face it. With determination in his heart and a vision for a brighter future, he knew one thing for sure: this was only the beginning. As Lucas prepared to take the next steps on his ever-evolving journey, he felt more ready than ever to embrace the unknown, driven by a vision of a brighter, more sustainable future for all. Lucas stood on the stage of a grand auditorium, adjusting his microphone as the crowd before him settled into their seats. The International Conference on Sustainable Innovation was the largest event he had ever attended, and he had been invited to deliver the closing keynote. The past few years had been a whirlwind, and this moment felt surreal. Scanning the audience, he recognized familiar faces: policymakers, scientists, entrepreneurs, and even community leaders who had benefited from the cooling systems his team had developed. Their presence was a testament to how far the project had come and the collective effort that had made it all possible. Taking a deep breath, Lucas stepped up to the podium. He began his speech by recounting the story of how his journey had started, sharing the challenges he faced and the lessons he had learned. The room was silent, his words carrying the weight of lived experience and heartfelt passion. "Innovation isn't just about creating something new," he said, his voice steady. "It's about creating something meaningful. It's about solving problems in ways that empower people and bring hope to places where it's been scarce. And most importantly, it's about collaboration. None of this would have been possible without the collective effort of countless individuals who believed in this vision." Lucas reflected on the milestones his project had achieved. The cooling systems were now being used in over 30 countries, transforming lives in diverse ways. In agricultural regions, they had reduced food waste by over 40%, enabling farmers to increase their incomes and provide for their families. In remote medical facilities, they ensured the safe storage of vaccines and other critical supplies, saving countless lives. But Lucas didn't shy away from acknowledging the challenges that remained. He spoke candidly about technical setbacks, logistical hurdles, and moments of doubt. "Progress is rarely linear," he said. "It's messy, unpredictable, and often frustrating. But it's in those moments of uncertainty that we have the opportunity to grow, to adapt, and to discover solutions we never imagined." The audience erupted into applause as Lucas concluded his speech, a standing ovation leaving him momentarily speechless. After the conference, Lucas returned to California with renewed focus on the next phase of the project. The success of the cooling systems had opened new doors, with potential applications ranging from urban food markets to disaster relief efforts. His team was already exploring ways to integrate artificial intelligence into the systems, enabling them to optimize energy usage and adapt to changing environmental conditions in real time. Amidst the flurry of activity, Lucas made a conscious effort to stay connected to the communities that had inspired him. He visited pilot sites, listening to the stories of those who used the cooling systems and seeking their input for improvements. These visits grounded him, reminding him of the tangible impact of his work and the importance of keeping people at the center of innovation. One visit brought Lucas back to his hometown, where the journey had begun. The local community had recently received their first cooling system, installed in a community center that now served as a hub for storing food and hosting gatherings during hot summer days. Walking through the familiar streets, Lucas was struck by nostalgia. The small grocery store where he used to buy snacks, the park where he had spent afternoons sketching ideas, and the house where he had built his first prototype. Each landmark was a reminder of how far he had come and the roots that had shaped his journey. That evening, as Lucas sat outside the community center reflecting on his journey, he received a call from Elon Musk. "Lucas," Musk said, his tone as direct as ever, "you've built something extraordinary, but I want to challenge you to think even bigger. The work you've done with the cooling systems is just the beginning. There are so many other problems out there waiting to be solved. Don't stop here." Lucas smiled, his resolve solidifying. "I've been thinking about that a lot lately," he admitted. "There's so much more we can do, and I'm ready to take on the next challenge." Musk's words stayed with Lucas as he returned home. He began mapping out the future of the project, fueled by a sense of possibility and a commitment to innovation. The journey ahead would be just as challenging, but Lucas felt ready to face it with the determination and resilience that had carried him this far. For him, the story was far from over. It was a story of hope, of ingenuity, and of the power to create a better world. As he looked toward the horizon, Lucas couldn't help but feel that the best was yet to come.